Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. What's up, Giants fam? Welcome to the BBO NYG Podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. That's John. Guys, I was all excited for the Giants game against the Vegas Raiders, going with Antonio Pierce, first time coaching, rookie quarterback. And I was like, I'm going to throw some money on it. Giants, Daniel Jones is back. And then almost immediately, I started watching this fucking game. It was 4th and 1. Evan Neal, full star, piece of shit. Again. Then they had another 4th and 1. Why not quarterback sneaking with our quarterback coming off of a neck injury? Why not injure him more? First off, at the beginning of the game, Jones just didn't look right at all. Even when he was scrambling, he was like kind of sliding awkwardly. Like, why is he even in the game? Like, to be honest with you, at that point. And a quick note about that. I'm pretty pissed at this coaching staff that actually let him play, to be honest, when he's not even close to 100%. And I know people in the fantasy world, Twitter, social media, was like, Daniel Jones sucks. He sucks, this and that. And I tell you what, man, it's not that for me. It's not that he sucks for me. And I know I'm going to say, yeah, it's probably time to move on. And I'll give you the one reason that I'm thinking we're going to move on from him. Maybe not next year, maybe the year after. But I'll get back to that later. But I'm thinking we're probably going to move on to him because every year he's just been injured and he's been unreliable. And you need your quarterback to play. I'm sorry. So that's probably the main reason that I'm thinking probably going to move on in another year.
I don't think so.
Well, hold up, Mike, you threw a lot at us.
I did. I had to. That's all I wanted to say.
Like, if you want to go to the initial beginning, not only did I bet the Giants, I bet them twice. Right? Remember we talked a little bit early on before kickoff because we had the Frankfurt game going on, right? And we were like, I kind of like Miami because they were getting 14.5 on that in-game bet. Right? That's where the whole thing started, right? So I started at like 3:30 in the morning at this point.
Made money there.
I jumped on that shit, but I laid it up because you were like, oh, Seattle and the Giants. And I'm like, all right, let's fucking do a crazy ass parlay. So I fucking took Miami, getting 14.5. That shit covered easily. I'm like all in, and fucking Seattle just doesn't show up against fucking shellacked by Baltimore. And then I started looking again, and I'm like, all right, it's like 3:15-ish. And I'm like, the Colts look really fucking good. I was like, why don't I lay the Colts with the Giants? I'm like, that shit sounds like a winner right there. And I'm looking at the Colts look great.
They had 2 pick sixes to the house. Man. They look good.
We literally get to the fucking Giants game, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Didn't expect it, to say the least.
Rookie quarterback, rookie coach, fucking or intern coach. They fired their GM. They fired this person. They fired that person. And they fucking demolished the Giants. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, it's uncanny how spectacularly the Giants tend to fail, or I guess succeed if you want to look at it from that side of the coin in reference to Super Bowls and stuff like that. Jeff Hostetler's fucking Super Bowl, and then both of Eli's, you can say are fucking, small miracles that they fucking were able to go ahead and do that. And spectacular. And when the Giants fucking lose, and it's almost like a weekly basis. Last week against the Jets, like spectacular loss. To be up the way they were up, have negative passing yards, and then lose that game the way they lost that game. Then to have your big name Andrew Thomas, Daniel Jones, Evan Neal, all these guys back for a game, and saying, okay, even though we're in a terrible position, if all the cards fall right, there's a possibility the season could turn out to something, even though it's a long shot. And then spectacular failure with them 14-0 in the first quarter. Daniel Jones' fucking knee gives out, and then it's just a fucking thrashing for the rest of the game. and you're realizing that Daniel Jones is done for the season without question. We have no quarterback. We're Tommy DeVito. Listen, as a fucking proud Guinea, root for the kid, but I mean, he's not a fucking quarterback in the NFL.
Maybe we were playing beach ball down on the shore or something.
So it's everything is spectacular, whether it's positive or negative with the Giants, and it's really something to marvel at, honestly. Just the how many times we could be sitting there after a game saying that was the worst loss we could have ever seen. I can't believe our season's over. Like the emotional lows that somehow we just find a way to bounce off the bottom of the Mariana Trench week after fucking week, season after season is spectacular.
I mean, listen, look, like it doesn't make sense at times. It really doesn't, to think that not only did we come in with high expectations for this Giant season, and again, let's be fair. It's not like we were boasting them to be in the Super Bowl, but definitely a playoff return was definitely well thought in the cards. And then we even put it as far as saying how like New York sports was going to excel. And meanwhile, you got the Jets fucking losing last night. You got the Bills losing on Sunday night. 5-4. You got the Giants in the situation that they're currently in. It's like, man, did we fucking get this season wrong? So, like, I think a lot of the frustration and the things you hear and people are saying is just sort of based on that. You had some expectation to see certain things happen, and when nothing happens, and it's similar to what you were just mentioning, John, where you're saying that like literally, it's like either they look phenomenal or they look like dog shit. I mean, like in a fucking nutshell. It's crazy, dude. And then now we lost fucking Daniel Jones, bro. And let's just fucking go on and talk about it because I have my opinions, and Mike, you shared some of yours. But John, give us your thoughts on what's the deal with Daniel Jones moving forward. I guess is really what we're going with this.
So just before we got on, I took a screenshot of something that I found pretty interesting. There's been 5 ACL injuries in the last, I guess, like 6 seasons to like major quarterbacks. Wow. All are going back to Carson Wentz in 2017. And if you look at the timetable, that I think this was Dan Duggan who wrote this out.
Yeah, it was.
Carson Wentz less than 1 year, Deshaun Watson less than 1 year, Jimmy Garoppolo less than 1 year, Joe Burrow less than 1 year, Kyler Murray less than 1 year. So you're seeing modern medicine, for all of its travesties, going in the right direction in regards to this particular injury. So I don't think that we're in a position where we should be counting out Daniel Jones and his career is over, his Giants career is over, anything crazy like that. If for whatever reason the Giants, in the matter of a handful of months, went from saying, okay, we're going to give Daniel Jones $40 million a year and we're not going to worry about quarterbacks for the next 4 years, to 3 or 4 games that he played behind an atrocious offensive line where he got QB hit more than any other quarterback in NFL history or something like that. Mike, you were saying, I forgot the exact stat. And then determined to eat all that money and draft another quarterback and just move on and start the entire franchise over again. I just don't find that likely possible. I also don't find that comforting that those 2 guys, Brian Dable and Joe Shane, could have been so invested and then only a handful of games later, all of a sudden be so far out on it. I just don't see, John, I don't see any like comfort in knowing that these guys are so, we're so off or so emotionally fucking, emotionally like susceptible to changing their mind like that and not have a backbone in their decisions.
I want to piggyback off of that, what you said. Like, this is what I think that's going to happen. I think this is part of the whole plan anyway. Jones is getting paid next year. If they cut him, before he comes back week 1 from the ACL injury, dude, it's like the dead cap would be like $22 million. So first of all, if he's not getting cut,
more than that, actually.
Yeah, it's probably what I think is like 22, 24, some shit like that. The Giants are not going to let the kid rehab. He's going to come back, but they are going to have a backup plan at quarterback. This is what I thought was going to happen actually before the injury. I thought the Giants, would get a nice draft pick in the first rounds, whatever, maybe like a mid to late first round pick. or even the second round if they traded up. I thought they were going to draft a quarterback to groom for the next couple of years. Maybe the kid from Michigan. I don't know who was going to be. There's going to be guys that was going to slip. And I like how the Giants were accumulating like draft picks, even with the Leonard Williams trade. I always thought that was like pretty strong possibility that they're going to have somebody next in line to groom for a year or two. Sit back, learn the offense. Right now, obviously, it changed with the way we're going. We might not win another game the rest of the year, but I still think this is what's might be even a stronger possibility is if they say they have the third pick overall and they draft Marvin Harrison Jr., right? And then they trade back up late in the first round to draft maybe a McCarthy or some other quarterback that they could wait a year or two, learn the system, and start. Then you have Daniel Jones coming back, hopefully for week 1, which is most likely. And then he's going to be your starter next year. And then you go from there. That's what I think is going to happen. And I mean, I don't know what else to really say about it. It's just been a lost season, but hey, you got to look on the bright side. Maybe it's the reason why all this crazy shit's happening.
Well, you know what, Mike, you're definitely in the right ballpark as far as with the picks, right? And where I think the Giants are actually in a very solid position, and not because, oh my God, we could get Kellen Williams. Oh my God, we can get fucking May. Oh my God, yeah. No, it's not that. You see, it would be absolutely foolish if everything stayed the way it currently is and the Giants had the 4th overall pick. And let's say we lost out on May and fucking Caleb, right? Caleb, rather. Then that's okay because the Giants have a lot of holes. They have a lot of holes. There's a lot of things that now need to be filled, okay? Without Leonard Williams, without fucking probably, we're going to probably be in need of another corner next year. We're probably going to be in need of another pass rusher. We're probably going to be in need of an interior lineman. We still need that wide receiver 1. We still have Daniel Jones on the books for $40-something million next year. There's a lot of things going on. Now, look, if May or Williams or one of those quarterbacks, go off the charts and somehow the Giants are, have the number 2 pick and one of those 2 guys falls in our lap, you got to consider it, right? Because knowing that this kid can come in and doesn't have to play year 1. Like, let's not forget, Patrick fucking Mahomes didn't play his rookie year, okay? He got to sit behind Alex Smith and play with that fucking Kansas City offense, took over, and then went on and did what he did, right? So, You know what? Like, the point of the matter is that you don't want to give up draft capital because the Giants are in a position where Daniel Jones is coming back. Tyrod Taylor's contract is going to be off the books next year, which frees up about $10 million to go fill in a backup quarterback in case Jones isn't ready week 1, right? So there's no reason to give up draft capital to move up for one of these quarterbacks. Someone's going to be there. If they're not there, don't force the issue. We've seen it happen with the 49ers and Trey Lance. He's not even on their team anymore. And they gave up fucking how much for him? Everything. I mean, look at what Young and fucking and Carolina. They gave up a fucking draft pick. They could be picking in the top 3 right now, and they don't have that option anymore because of a kid who might not even be that good because C.J. Stroud is fucking shining the shit out of him. And Anthony Richardson, before he got hurt, looked even better than both. So, right. I mean, it's crazy. So that's where I don't want this to turn into we got to get Caleb Williams. We got to get this person. We don't. We could sit back. Maybe it's a Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe it's that kid from UCLA, that fucking pass rusher, who's a beast. He's got 12 sacks already on the season. There's like another 4 or 5 games to go. And he's got 12, and he had 12 last year. I mean, could you imagine him lining up opposite of Thibs? That should be incredible. You keep building that fucking line, and we go get an offensive lineman, and then maybe one of these guys from like the Michigan kid or somebody that's like a leftover quarterback that could just see what he's got, and we fill it in with the 2 picks that we have in the second round. That's where I think the Giants should be kind of heading. They're in that kind of a position where there's no run on it. Look, as far as Daniel Jones goes, I just think that he's here next year, right? Regardless, unless physically he can't get on the field. That's what the problem is there. But, bro, we've seen it for 5 years at this point. You can't say it's in year 6, he's going to fucking snap into it. He's going to throw 35 touchdowns and pass for 5,000 yards. It ain't happening. Daniel Jones is the type of quarterback that could be smart. He's good. He's tough. And if he had the type of team built around him, he could probably be very successful, like a Kirk Cousins, let's say. Like if you put Daniel Jones in Minnesota healthy, he'd probably shine there, right? With Jefferson and Addison and Hawk and all those guys that they have and all the weapons and everything else going on.
That's the idea of a fucking football team, bro.
He ain't that guy. He
Stop.
ain't that guy. He's not. He ain't a creator. He's not a creator. Like, understand the argument here. You see, you listen too much to those haters that you hear online. Oh, he sucks. Oh my God, I want to see him downfall. I can't wait to see him fail. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Daniel Jones isn't a creator. You can't put him on a team with one guy, and him and that one guy are going to be studs. He ain't that guy. He ain't that type of player. And not only that, like Mike said earlier, he can't stay healthy. He proved it. He can't. And maybe it's just an injury bug. Maybe it's just, bad luck. Maybe it's poor offensive line. I mean, shit. Andrew Luck's career ended early, right? Because he had a fucking line that banged him up so much. I mean, literally, they're comparing their two careers as far as many sacks as they've had. And I'm pretty sure that if I look at it correctly, Andrew Luck has had more starts than fucking Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones has been sacked more times than Andrew Luck. Dude, that's scary. Two neck injuries, a torn ACL. Like, bro, it's scary. Like, you don't want this guy to be fucking 35 years old and he's walking with a limp and he looks like he's 60. You know what I'm saying? Like at a certain points in time, you got to feel like the need that it might just not be it. I know we root for him. I know he's a good guy. I know he's tough. He's got heart. He's gritty. He doesn't say nothing and you love it.
Yeah,
but at the same time, dude, it just might not be a good fit anymore. That's all I'm saying. That's it. But it doesn't mean we give up the farm to move up and get Khalid Williams or somebody like that and fucking like throw away years left. Because if he turns out to be a bust or a Trey Lance or fucking Young or one of these other guys, then you're fucked for another 5 years.
At least.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I definitely feel like you got to ride this fucking train until the wheels fall off. You've already invested. Honestly, you've built your franchise around this kid. And if you're going to start having 2 feet in 2 different ponds, both quarterbacks are going to suffer because of it. You either need to figure out if Daniel Jones is your guy, you have to continue to build around him and hope that he comes back healthy and is able to, you were able to, in the interim, build an offensive line that a quarterback can be successful behind Daniel Jones, name Daniel Jones or whatever. It doesn't matter who it is. If it's
Did the Packers have 2 feet in their ponds when they had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers? Or when they had Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love? No, they didn't. Look at KC. They lost to Texas, if I'm not mistaken, in that playoff with Alex Smith at quarterback, with Pat Mahomes chilling on the bench. Okay, Pat Mahomes chilling on the bench.
Yeah, but you're talking.
It's just smart. That's smart football. Jalen Hurts was drafted with Carson Wentz being on the Eagles, coming off of a monster season.
You got to be prepared.
It happens. That's football. It's business. That's business right there. Now you're securing yourself a little.
Joe's, I agree with you 100% because you can't have next year what happened this year. If Jones goes down, you have nobody. Tyrod, Tyrod was fragile. He was always fucking injured. And then this fucking guy can't even throw the ball. And then we watched him actually throw the ball last week, and it was a fucking disaster. It was a shit show. Like, now people realize, like, all right, that's why he didn't fucking throw the ball against the fucking Jets, because we were trying to fucking win the goddamn game. So you're right. We can't go into next year being unprepared in that market. I was trying to think of like free agent quarterbacks that maybe would like fit. Like, I immediately thought of like Kirk Cousins, but then I'm like, what am I, nuts? If Daniel Jones can't run out of the pocket, you think Kirk Cousins is going to be able to run out of this fucking mess? He'd be fucking next in line. His other Achilles would fucking pop. So I was like trying to like think of guys, and I said, like, I was tweeting this last week before the trade went down. I was like, yo, if the Giants really want to like try to save their season, they should try to trade for Josh Dobbs, and I was like, give up like a late round pick, like a 6 or whatever the fuck we have, 6th, 7th, but they didn't. And then you see what he went and did with fucking Minnesota, coming in late in the game. He's running all over the place, making some nice plays. The kid can fucking play ball. We seen it when him going against us, when he had a big fucking lead against us. The Giants just aren't prepared in that situation. I'm sorry.
Hey, not to throw salt on a wound here or anything like that, but Dobbs learned his 3rd playbook this season. He's going
to be an astronaut.
Arizona in preseason. You know what I'm saying?
He's smart. He's going to be an astronaut. He's fucking flying to the moon in 2024 with Mars or some shit. Yeah, he's fucking like, he's brilliant. He has no eyebrows, but he's fucking brilliant.
We can paint them on.
But yeah, I think the ship is sailed, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Jones next year. But
listen, he's back next year. He's back.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it.
Everybody's got to deal with that, but it doesn't hurt to have one of these kids if they're in the right position. I'm not giving up the house, but if they're in the right position, to have one of these kids as a backup.
I get that.
You bring in a cheap veteran, and if the kid doesn't work out or the veteran doesn't work out, you can cut one of them, designate him to a practice squad type role or whatever the case may be. And Jones, if he's healthy to go week 1, he's going to be the starter. That's it. There's no controversy there. But if Jones starts off the same shit and we're a month or 2 into the season and he looks like garbage.
You guys are forgetting we're playing in New York. You guys are forgetting that the team needs the draft pick. You need the draft pick. You can't use a draft pick late first, early second. That caliber of
We have 2
player that you can
seconds.
get. Sure. Okay. That means that you have that much better of an opportunity to fucking fix this team once and for all and get what you need. But to take away something from this quarterback, which in turn takes away something from the next quarterback, it doesn't make any sense in my mind. I think
so. Let me spin this, John.
this conversation is just happening a year too early. That's basically.
Let's say the Giants finish second over with the second pick overall, right? And Khalid Williams is there. You're saying that the Giants should pass on him at that point, knowing we got 2 second-round picks where we can get an offensive and a defensive lineman and fill in those needs right there in the second round with caliber players.
I ain't
You're
passing
talking about
on.
passing on a quarterback like that.
I ain't passing on.
If they're willing to bet their legacy that Caleb Williams is the guy,
but you don't have to.
Yeah,
you got Daniel Jones next year. You still got Jones for next year.
Now you're trying to drive 2 cars at the same time.
Why? How? But I've given you examples of teams
you have a leader, you have a guy.
Hold on, you can't bring up teams that have done it already. Not only that,
Aaron Rodgers as your case studies. You're talking about the fraction of 1% of 1% of
I'll give you another case study because we mentioned the quarterback just recently. We mentioned Kirk Cousins. Does everybody remember when he was drafted from Michigan State? He was drafted in the 3rd round by Washington. Do you know who Washington took with the number 2 overall pick in that same exact draft?
Carson Wentz.
No, RG3.
RG3, the 80.
Washington. Right, they
Carson
took RG3 and Andrew Luck was the number 1 pick in that draft. Bro, teams do it all the fucking time. Why not the Giants?
It doesn't work out for them.
Washington, it never worked out for Washington.
RG3 until he blew out his knee, was in the playoffs. It was rookie of the year. And
look at what
it definitely works out.
It never worked out for Washington. They blew their fucking all their quarterbacks. Shit, you know,
they got that shitty ass field down there.
John, I understand what you're saying, John, but like it's now's the time. Like you're not only opportunities come around, once in a blue moon for you to have like this early of a pick to get like a quarterback, and you have Jones next year for a year. And now check this: if Jones plays well,
he is in contract for another 3.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If Jones plays well next year, right? And then all of a sudden you got a fucking QB that, hey, maybe I could fucking trade because his value went up because he had a fucking great year. And I could get like a fucking 3rd round or a 4th round pick, maybe even something better. You never know. Like, you know how you just have to have the depth because we see it with this team. We have no depth pretty much nowhere, especially on the offense. Well, the offensive line, you lost 9 fucking guys. That's almost unprecedented. If next year happens again, then the Giants are definitely fucking cursed and tear the whole fucking building down.
Well, we've been saying that shit for fucking 15 years. So
it seems like we have been. You know what I mean? We had a great year last year, and then who would have thought like this year would have happened? But you know what? It reminds me of the NBA when David Robinson fucking got hurt and San Antonio sucked for a whole year, and then they had the number 1 pick or whatever the fuck it was. They drafted Tim Duncan. And then it set that franchise, off on, pretty much a dynasty. If you ask me, I'm just hoping for the best because I know this. John, I love Jones too, but like I said in the beginning of this podcast, you can't be injured every year. You just can't. It's the NFL. Like,
did he get injured last year? Last year, he drug our team to the fucking playoffs and won a playoff game on the road.
I know.
He should have done that multiple times before that too, if it wasn't for fucking ridiculous next around him.
But you also need some consistency, and that he hasn't shown yet. Okay, and
yes, he has. He's been a consistent quarterback his entire career.
I use the word "yet." He hasn't been consistent. He hasn't been consistent year to year.
He hasn't been consistent.
Wait. If you go from last year, which he was great, right? But then you go to the year before, he sucked. Let's be real, dude.
Last year, that's the thing. He didn't suck. The team sucked.
God, bro. But his turnovers went down slightly, but that was really it. Then the year before that, he was a turnover.
Because
there's no consistency.
You're pretending like you didn't sit here
25 touchdowns
for 17 weeks of the season and watch every single throw that he had, and then all of a sudden say that he sucked when in the fact that it wasn't specifically Daniel Jones was ever the reason why the team was losing since they drafted him in 2019. If anything, he's the only reason why they won games most often of the times. If you collect all of the wins that we've had since 2019, almost every single one of them is on the back of Daniel Jones. Every single one of them.
He's just starting
with
quarterback.
The exception of a couple of games, you could say Saquon. What?
I mean, come on, bro. Like you're really reaching here. Like, no shit. I
No,
would
I'm
hope
not.
that's the case. He got paid $40 million to do that. That's what he got paid to
okay.
do.
Him
All
getting
right,
paid
so
$40 million
that's it.
by everybody's darlings and Ryan Dable and Joe Shane prove my point that he's been consistent. He did show that he's a good quarterback for the 4 years that he was here.
But there's a reason why they only gave him 4 years. There's a reason why they set it up where the Giants could get out of it after 2. There's
Because they
reasons
only
behind it.
play with him for a year.
If not, he would have got the standard 10-year deal that Burrow got, that Herbert got, that fucking Josh Allen got.
No
that
one's
fucking
arguing that
Mahomes
he's
that
Josh
Murray
Allen
got,
or
that
he's Joe
Watson
Burrow.
got. I mean, bro, there's like 10
No one's
quarterbacks I
arguing
just
that
mentioned.
though.
There's 10 quarterbacks.
I've never sat here and argued that Eli Manning was Peyton Manning or Tom Brady.
Oh, I get
never
all that.
argued.
No, and that's the point.
Okay, so then that's the point what I'm trying to make here. Is
Okay.
you're trying to say I want the Bugatti fucking Chevron or Chiron, whatever it's called, but you're not okay with having a Ferrari. It's like I understand what you're saying here, but you're also you have the benefit of 2020 hindsight to say Patrick Mahomes was this and Josh Allen was that, and they could have done this and they could have did this, and you have the benefit of 2020 hindsight. The fact of the matter is, every single year there are multiple quarterbacks picked in the first round, and if you were to look back over the last 50 quarterbacks that were picked in the first round, you would recognize maybe 10% of the names on that list.
Correct.
And we
And
always forget that, especially this
how
far
many
away
of
from
those
the draft.
guys had to go right into starting?
Hold
How
on.
many of those guys had to go right into starting? I would say at least 60%, maybe 70, right?
Probably a little bit higher than that.
High. Probably pretty high.
A little bit higher than that. But I tell you,
I don't think so.
I tell you what, though. I tell you what. I have to say this: if you threw one of those guys in hindsight on the Giants back then, you would have ruined some of those guys. You would have ruined a Josh Allen.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Definitely.
it's hard for me to say, like, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has been through so much. You know what I mean? I feel really bad for the kid. But I'm telling you, if Josh Allen got drafted by the Giants, we would have ruined his fucking career. There's no doubt.
That's why physically I compare it to Andrew Luck. That's it. Like, you got to understand, John, I get where you're coming from, because there's so much hate out there, and we defended Jones for so many seasons, right? And he deserved to be at that point in time. There's no question. But it's at a point now where it's 5 seasons in. You're going into season number 6. And if, again, like I said, if one of these top quarterbacks is sitting there when the Giants pick, you see, I'm not going to advocate and be like, we have to get him. Oh my God, it's another lost year or lost franchise if we don't. But if one of those kids fall right to where the Giants are, it's foolish not to take him and take that chance. If you got to give up capital to move up to get one of those guys, I would never do that. And that's what I want.
If the stars align is one thing, but you're talking about, if this happens and that happens and this and this.
Well, there's not much of what I said if happens. If the Giants stay where they are, they pick number 4 overall right now. There's a really good chance they could get a top quarterback at number 4. Really good chance, especially with the Bears having 2 picks. They're not taking 2 quarterbacks. That means the Giants at worst have the 3rd best quarterback, or who the rest of the league feels like is the 3rd best quarterback off the board. And that's as of today, and that's saying that none of these teams win another game moving forward. Don't forget, Kyler Murray's coming back to Arizona. He's playing for his job. You don't think Arizona might scramble a couple of wins down the stretch of the season? When Murray at quarterback, knowing that they have the number 1 pick and he might lose his fucking job? Shit.
Let me tell you guys something. Like, Daniel Jones, he hasn't played a full season since he's been here, since 2019. In a full 16 or 17 game season, he hasn't played. He missed 1 game last year, so that was the closest. He played 16 out of 17. But every year, it's just the same situation. I'm frustrated by it. I mean, a lot of it's, sure, it's not his full offensive line is letting him out to dry, neck injuries. But listen, you got to stay on the field, man. You got to protect himself, because there's a lot of times he was just running head first, not protecting himself, out of the game with concussion. You're dragging the team down. If, you're supposed to be the leader, the best. Obviously the best quarterback on the team. You got to be out on the field, man. And it's tough. It's really tough.
If this is the end of Daniel Jones as a Giant and they go and draft another quarterback and stuff like that, this would be one of the grossest mishandlings of a.
It already is.
It already is. You're absolutely right. But it's salvageable still. There is a way that this turns out, and there's still a Cinderella story to be written.
How? Where do you see it? In all honesty,
he comes
with all
back
your knowledge and everything you've seen, what do you
got 1
truly
year.
think it
Jules,
out?
he's got 1 year, Jules. Next year, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
bro. Like,
Yes.
and
I'm
bro,
on
for
board
that
with that.
1 year, he got to ball out. Like, he got to throw 30 touchdowns.
Stop
He
with
has
stats.
to.
That's where you
Period,
lose me,
stop.
bro. That's where you lose a real football fan, bro. When you start
But
throwing out
how?
stats,
How?
then you start fucking straddling your nutsack in the fantasy realm. And that's not what this is about.
No, it is though, but that's what every
No,
top
it's not.
quarterback does.
Bro,
They accumulate 30
okay,
touchdowns. If you
do me a
can't
favor.
accumulate 2
Really quick,
touchdowns in a fucking
Jules,
a game,
stop. Hold on one second.
you
Just
suck.
answer this
Period,
question.
stop.
Answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
How many touchdowns did Eli Manning throw in 2007 and 2011?
I'd have to Google it to be
Okay,
sure.
exactly.
I know in 07,
That
I know
don't
in
fucking
07
matter.
was only
Wins
like
you. That's it.
23. But you're also talking about
Guys, catch
you're
when I
also
mix it
talking
up.
about
I'm no
almost
longer
20
going to
years
be
ago,
on
bro.
BBO.
That shit was 15 years ago. It was a different fucking league. Back then, you could dive at a quarterback's legs, couldn't you? You could hit a quarterback fucking late. There was no fucking spot on the sliding foul. There was none of that bullshit. So it was a different game, dude. We had way more of a rushing attack. We would rush and play defense. That was what we did. We had Plaxico that one time. That was it, bro. Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, yo, it was, and then he had seasons where he threw for 30 touchdowns.
Yeah,
You really want to pull up his fucking numbers. He
when they had
definitely had
Nick,
years of 30 touchdowns. There's no doubt about it.
when they had Knicks, Cruz, Manningham,
Right.
fucking through,
Yeah.
you know.
When they had great fucking players.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out when you need
I
players.
mean, it is a little
Give it a
bit.
block
It
for you.
definitely
But
is.
listen, it all goes hand in hand. So you could argue both ways.
Of course.
But the fact is, we're probably going to be talking about Jones more the rest of the fucking season.
Oh, I mean, that's
We
going to
have-
be hot topic comes towards the end of the season for sure.
we have to touch on one more thing before we take a break and go into the picks. We lost Leonard Williams. This fucking Jacoby Jones, not Jacob. What's his name? The running back, Vegas Jacobs.
Oh yeah, Brandon Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs. Right?
Josh Jacobs.
Couldn't think of his name. Josh Jacobs just went right through our fucking wherever fucking Leonard Williams used to play, right up the middle, fucking right through the defense. I was waiting for somebody to fucking step up, and I was just like, yeah, that's a big loss. And then you hear McKinney come out saying like, you know, our leadership's not being heard, and you know, once they gave up Leonard Williams, I think the whole team was kind of let down. Like, oh, you're giving up on the season by trading him. That's how a lot of players felt. And I can't blame them. But I can't blame them when they lost Daniel Jones immediately in the game for them to have a letdown either. You know what I mean? It's just normal reaction because they knew like we did, like we have no choice. So I feel bad. It's a smart trade, but at the same time, you're telling the guys, hey, we kind of give up.
You're telling the guys we don't believe in you.
I mean, or they're saying that we think we're good enough that we could trade that piece, and some of these younger guys are in the position to step up and still be competitive on this.
Yeah, nobody did. They didn't.
No, and no one did.
It's only
right?
one game.
You know,
so that's one of the better running backs in the league.
If McKinney, look, I'm a huge McKinney fan, but ever since that AV accident last season, and just him running his mouth and like he's opening up too much, and he's always just not saying things correct. I don't know if we renew him.
I don't think
his contract is up, dude. He might be gone, bro.
I think he's out.
Real. Like, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I mean. Where and I'm gonna keep stressing this point from now until April that the Giants cannot give up draft capital because we have too many holes. We may need another safety. I don't think we're re-signing Adoree Jackson. I don't know if we're gonna bring back McKinney. I don't know what we're gonna do at tight end. I doubt Darren Waller's back, right? Like, there's a lot of question marks on this team. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why I keep stressing that. Yes, it's great if one of those quarterbacks fall to the Giants. Take it. But if you don't, then you got to consider the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s. You got to, what is it, Tula or something like that? The kid that's a defensive end on UCLA, edge, whatever, DE edge. Kid's got fucking 24 sacks in the last 2 seasons. You got to consider shit like that, bro, and build in. And then what's great is that Jones is here one more year, John. So he'll get his fucking year, dude, to show the fuck up. And if he can pull out a little bit, there's no reason in 2025 we have to take a quarterback. But if we do, at least we know we have this year's draft or next year's draft to go get that quarterback. And if you know that you
the draft
pieces in place,
listen, if Daniel Jones comes back next year, let's play out the scenario, and then we do the pick. Then we're going to take the break to do the picks. Play out the scenario. Daniel Jones comes back. Giants suck, and at that point, you're going to be in prime position anyways to draft a quarterback for the 2026 draft or whatever it is, 2025 draft.
But
2025 draft.
But there's not a lot of good ones coming out then.
You don't know that, bro. Every year they say the same thing. It's the quarterbacks this year. It's always the same conversation, though. It's always the same.
Like I said, look, if you're telling me somehow the Giants end up with like the 5th overall pick and Shakira Sanders is sitting there. No, I'm not. I'm not going to be a big
Hell
fucking advocate
fucking
for him.
no.
You know what I'm saying? Or Bo Nix, or fucking the kid down in fucking in Michigan, right? I'm not at number 5. But
Mid to late.
if May or Williams are there, you got to consider it. You have to consider it. That's all I'm saying. Are there a lot of good fucking players coming out in this year's draft? There always are. There always will be. We have picks in the first 2 rounds. We have 3 picks. Giants could capitalize off of that. What I'm trying to say is that if one of them do fall to the Giants, you got to consider it, regardless of Jones' situation. That's it. And as far as McKinney's concerned, dude, like maybe that's his frustration. Maybe it's his immaturity. I don't know. I would love to see him turn that shit around because he is a baller. But man, he gets too much in his own fucking head for his own good.
Well, let's listen. At least we're not scumbags that are on social media praising that Daniel Jones got hurt. I seen a lot of those animals ridiculous on social media. Listen, I wouldn't even like celebrate an Eagle getting hurt. And now we got our own fan bases, celebrating Daniel Jones' injury. Those guys are pathetic. I mean, I could give you the list of those people that, I mean, they're always in my mentions all the time, but fuck them. I don't want to even talk about those fucking assholes. But anyway, let's just hope for the best. Hopefully, Daniel Jones gets a speedy, quick recovery, and it's just the ACL and nothing else they find in there. But,
right, because when is he scheduled for surgery? What, later this week or something like that? Or?
Tomorrow or something, or Thursday.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I thought it was later this week, and that's when they'll go in. They'll know these doctors nowadays, man. I mean, they're like miracle workers for real when it comes to these type of injuries. So look, he'll be back in 6 months. I would say maybe 6-7 months tops. Puts him in line to be ready by like camp. You know what I mean? So you got to sit back and wait and see. I mean, the thing is, what do we do with the rest of the season? I guess Matt Barkley is next up with Tommy DeVito. Gonna be fun.
It's gonna be bad. All right. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. All right, we're back on the BBO NYG podcast. It's pick time. Everybody's favorite segment, except for John's. First game, the Chicago Bears.
This is the game of the week, ain't it?
Game of the week. This is for, I don't know, nothing. Draft considerations, whatever. Thursday night game, in Chicago. They're -3.5 against Carolina.
And you know what? Real quick here, right? This is huge. Because depending on if one of these guys got to lose, I mean, watch them end up fucking tying or something. But like literally, one of them lose, all of a sudden the Giants could jump ahead. I mean, it's like that crazy with that many games left in the season. With that said, is Fields playing?
I don't know if he's going to rush him back for the Thursday night game. I think it's more likely the week after. But they're just a better team than Carolina, and they're home.
Oh.
Carolina stinks. Carolina might be the worst team, but I'm rooting for them to win. I want them to win.
You want who to win?
Carolina, right? Don't we want them to win? Because
no,
yeah, because like they're keeping the number 1 pick. They're not going to take another quarterback in back-to-back drafts. Number 1 overall.
Yeah,
that would be fucking nuts.
I think Carolina's
at least 1 more year.
Carolina's first round pick goes to Houston, right? Or no?
The Bears.
Those are the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. The Bears are pretty right now.
Yeah, Bears are going to have like 2 top picks in the top 5. So, I mean, if they move on from Justin Fields, I don't know, man. They're definitely a team to watch out for. So I guess
that's why, in a weird way, holy shit, I didn't even think of that until we just started talking about it right now.
Carolina.
The Bears win, they're still in good position because they'll get Carolina's pick. But like if they lose, they're still in good position because nothing changes for them.
Yeah, so in that case, you would actually want the Panthers to win.
You want the Panthers to win, right?
Yeah, because I didn't realize that the Bears had the Panthers pick like that. Because if that's the case, then you would want to slide in front of both of them. I was thinking with Bears having 2 wins already, if they win, that'll put them at 3. That'll put them automatically behind the Giants. But if they have the Panthers pick anyway, then it doesn't matter. Just fucking try to get in front of both of them and be.
I say we take the Panthers and we root for the fucking Panthers.
yeah, for real. Is it better if they just tie? If they both tie, is that better for us?
No, I think the Panthers winning is better.
Really?
It'll be like a fucking 3-3 tie out Thursday night.
You'll have all 3 of us will be knotted up with 2 wins.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let's go Panthers.
To win 1 more game each after that, and
All
Yeah,
right,
we'd slide ahead both of them.
Panthers fucking roar. Let's move for them.
That's how
All
bad
right.
it is.
All right, the
Just so you guys know, I'm allergic to all this draft stuff like this.
I
I'm
know.
breaking out in fucking hives right now.
Oh God, it's horrible.
So next game is the 9:30 game. We got another one. I guess it's
Frankfurt,
in Germany
right?
again.
Yeah, I think it's in Frankfurt again.
At New England, apparently. Indianapolis is -1.5 against New England. New England's terrible, man. But
Yeah, I'm
Indy
going
sucks
Indy here.
too.
I'm going Indy.
Yeah, I want Indy here. I gotta go Indy
Yeah.
here too. Listen, I think Belichick's like, wait a minute, I'm not that far out from fucking getting a good pick too. He's
Yeah,
like, I got 2 wins. I'm right in the mix.
He
He's
would
like,
take
fuck
a
it, I'll get me
quarterback.
a quarterback. Yeah, I need Brady 2.0.
Yeah, New England.
The
New England.
Giants are playing on national television against the Cowboys this week in
They should
Dallas.
We'll
They
get to that.
They should flex that to like tomorrow. All right, next game. Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. They're -3.5 against Green Bay.
Steelers.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just stunned. I was just thinking about the fucking Giants for a second. I'm sorry.
Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Steelers all the way.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Definitely
Green
Steelers
Bay's
all the way. I like
weird,
them
yeah.
a lot. I think I even favorite bet that. Coming off of a bye week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, not what
No,
they play on Thursday or some shit. They play
Yeah, they
Thursday
play
night.
Thursday
So they
against
got the
Tennessee.
extra rest at home with Green Bay coming in. I like Pittsburgh there a lot.
Green Bay's not that great. All right, next game, Minnesota with Josh Dobbs. They're playing the
Minnesota.
Saints in Minnesota. Saints are -2.5. I'm going Dobbs all way, all day.
Whew.
Actually,
I
have
mean, listen,
Saints.
the crazy shit is the Vikings are still very much in the playoff hunt. Very much in the playoff hunt.
They are.
I mean,
Jefferson's
so the
coming back.
Saints. Listen, this game is early on, but it's got a lot of playoff implications. Yeah, you know what? I can roll with Minnesota here.
They're not bad. They're a pretty good team.
Dobbs be keeping them steady. Jefferson might be back.
I'm taking them. I'm taking Minnesota. I'm hoping Jefferson comes back.
Minnesota.
All right, next game at Cincinnati. I love this game actually. At Cincinnati, I'm taking them as my survivor pick. They're playing Houston. Cincinnati's -6.5. They're in Cincinnati. Cincinnati all day.
You don't like what CJ Stroud did last week?
I do, but it's not going to get Cincinnati's defense.
That's fair. That's fair.
I like Tank Dell because I started him in a couple leagues. So
all right, listen, CJ Stroud fucking won me big. I was going back and forth. Trevor Lawrence was on a bye, and it was like him, Sam Howell. I was going through all the names, and then fucking finally one of them guys was like, "What are you stupid? Fucking go stick with Stroud." I'm like, "All right." Fucking dude just kept going off. I was like,
3 wide receivers with 100 yards each.
holy shit,
crazy.
that was so game.
Yeah, but Cincinnati, you got to take Cincinnati. All fucking day. That's my key.
I guess, yeah, they're coming off of big wins. They look like they're back to their normal self. The only thing I worry about there is if Chase is healthy or not, but whatever.
All right, next
They
game
take a big hit at the end.
at Baltimore. They're fuck Baltimore. They're 5.5 point favorites against Cleveland. Should be a good game. Fuck Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not
it's
taking
hard
Baltimore.
it's hard not to go with Baltimore right now.
They're on
That's the
fire.
only thing. And listen, I know the Browns got a good front. They're going to get after Lamar. I know all that. I don't
I'm taking Cleveland, Juice. If you take Baltimore, John got to be the deciding factor.
go for it, John. There you go.
Baltimore.
Baltimore it is.
Or it is. All right, next game at Tampa. Tampa came off a nice win. They're -1.5 against Tennessee. I like Tampa.
You like Tampa, huh?
They got Baker. They got a nice little offense. Rashad White's my guy. He had a big day.
The Titans is
what are we
going
giving
in.
there? One. All right, I can go with Tampa at home just for the win. That makes sense. All right.
John, you like the Titans?
Yeah, someone's telling me Titans. Just gut feeling.
Tampa's at
Ooh.
home. Gotta take Tampa. I actually like that as a key bet.
Really?
Yeah. Next game, San Fran's in Jacksonville. This should be a good game. Another 1:00 game. West Coast team flies to Jacksonville in Florida. San Fran's only -2.5. Jacksonville's been on fire, man.
And Purdy's playing in this game.
Got it, right?
I mean, listen, I think San Francisco. I mean, they're both coming off of buys, but I think the buy helps San Francisco more just because they should be healthy, right? I know they were kind of getting a little banged up. A lot of weird things are going on. They lost a couple of like close games. East Coast, West Coast, all that bullshit.
I think
Listen,
Jacksonville's a fake 6-2 team.
49ers lost 3 straight. If they lose a 4th straight game, I think like you could kind of pack the season in almost in a way, you know. I think they're desperate. I think they pull out a win somehow. That's just me.
I
John,
like
what do you think?
I like San Fran too.
Oh, you do? Oh, all right.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
think
thought I don't know why I thought you were leaning towards Jacksonville for a second. All right.
Jacksonville's that fake 6-2 team. All right, next game. My Chargers. I started their defense last night. Got a fantasy team. Actually they're in LA, but they're playing the Lions. Lions are -1.5.
Lions are 6-2, huh?
I like the Lions, man. Chargers, I don't know, man. I like them, but they're not that great.
I got Lions here.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you want to talk about fake 6-2 teams, there's your fucking prime example of a fake 6-2 team. They pulled out a tough win on Thursday night against the Chiefs to win by 1 point. They lost to the Seahawks and they lost to the Ravens, right? Their wins are against the Falcons, the Packers, the Panthers, and the Bucks. I'm talking about a fake 6-2 team.
I know. Chargers are a fake 4-4 team. So, I actually like that as another key bet. All right, with the Lions. Oh, next game, Atlanta's only -0.5 point against Arizona. They're in Arizona. Taylor Heineke sucks.
Kyler Murray's back.
And Kyler Murray is back.
Arizona.
We got to root for Arizona, right?
I got to root for Arizona. That's how we're gonna do our picks the rest of the season.
I might have to get a jersey. I might have to get an Arizona jersey for Sunday. All right, next
get
game.
An old school Larry Fitz.
Next game. This is crazy. Seattle's at home. They're playing Washington. Seattle's -6.5. Washington, man, they're 4-5, but you want them to win, you know? Definitely want them to win because they want a quarterback for sure.
You know what the problem there is that
Seattle sucks.
Seattle's going to win. I don't think they're going to cover though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Washington keeps it close, but I think Seattle still wins that game.
I got to go with Seattle. I got to go with Seattle.
Yeah.
I think
especially they got embarrassed last week.
Yeah, in Baltimore they got embarrassed. They played like shit. I think they come back and blow out Washington. All right. Oh my God, at Dallas. Dallas is favored by 16.5. I mean,
that's
I don't even know.
Wow.
I don't even know who the fuck is going to show up in a Giants uniform on Sunday.
You know what's funny about that, Sperm Mike? I don't even know if I'd be confident if I did a 3-game tease and took the Giants at +26.5.
For real. I would, even if it's super tease, give him 15 points, give him 30. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think like
we lost to them 40-0 to start the season.
Yeah. Wow. With everybody.
We're gonna this is gonna go down as maybe the worst showing against the Cowboys in the entire 60-something year rivalry.
Bro, and not only that, they just lost them. They just coming off of a loss to the Eagles.
Hell yeah.
Like, they go.
It could easily be a 38-0 game. And you're talking about being 80-0 in a season against your fucking bitter rivals, bro.
Cowboy up.
God. Yeah, man. I hate it.
Yeah,
it's such a downer, man.
No, that's fucking heavy, dude.
It is.
You're talking about all time, like we'll talk about the season forever type situation. That's fucking disgusting.
I mean, listen, in reality, I could see it being like 35-10. You know, something.
How you see him scoring 10 points?
Yeah, somehow with a weird day, like some special teams bullshit or a fucking fumble. They'll get a fluke touchdown. Okay. Tommy DeVito got a fluke touchdown. You know what I mean?
I'm fine with that.
I mean, the game would be out of reach though. It'd be like 35-3 at that point. They score a bullshit touchdown at the end.
Yeah.
Type of thing. You know what I mean?
6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Down.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Parsons is
on the sideline dancing because he has 7 sacks today and shit.
Doesn't see the rest of the fucking game in the field.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
All right, let's get this fucking shit over with.
Dallas is gonna have like a whole second half of all the starters getting pulled early. It's gonna be a fucking disaster. All right, next game, the Sunday night game at Vegas. Fuck them. They're playing the Jets. Jets got to go to Vegas now. Jets are actually favored by 1.5. I mean, they got the defense to actually play with them, and I think it looks like they're gonna make a move. Trevor Siemian probably gonna be starter. Maybe that brings some life to the Jets.
They could run the ball too. So I
actually think the Jets, bro.
Smarter. I like the Jets. Their defense is a little better than us. I like the Jets,
Yeah, I like the Jets too. All right. Ooh, at Buffalo, Monday night game. Buffalo's -7.5 against all of a sudden the resurging Broncos that have been playing pretty well recently. Sean Payton got them turned around the past few weeks. 7.5 against Buffalo, a team that defense is pretty shitty. Monday night game. I don't think it's a blowout. The Monday night games rarely are a blowout, right? I'm going with Denver.
No way.
I agree.
I know, Jules, you love Buffalo. You're a fan right there. But yeah, Denver, bro. I'm telling you, they got an offense, bro. They put up points.
Don't buy the hype. Listen, Sean
Take
Payton's
the
got
over.
Russell Wilson playing better. But yeah, no, this game means way too much to Buffalo.
Well, me and John took
It's
Denver.
a home
So
game, and the rest of their schedule looks like fucking death. They have to win on Monday night, bro.
I didn't say
think
this
they
Buffalo
win.
team- Yeah.
I
I
think
just
they'll
thought they were going to
win.
blow them out.
You don't think they'll win by 7?
Maybe it's 7.5.
Yeah.
Bro,
All
I
right.
saw
Basically,
that
field goal.
Denver squad played earlier in the
We're
year.
taking-
Right now.
We're taking Denver, Jules. All right.
Oh, God.
The 4 key bets look like this. Looks like Pittsburgh, Cincy, Tampa Bay, and the Lions.
All right.
All right.
And
Thank you guys.
that is a
for
wrap.
ruining my fucking
Well,
night.
listen, that's it for this season. That's it for Daniel Jones' season. No, I'm kidding.
Spider-Man 2.
Look,
Bye.
At the very least, we will keep this commentary going. We're going to have a lot of fun with it the rest of the season because there's nothing else to do. And like you said, you're going to keep tuning in. We're going to keep doing this pickup segment, and we're going to keep rooting for teams that are in front of the Giants because that's what the season's looking like. But you know what? Be safe. Get drunk on Sundays. Fuck this season. Next year, be here before you know it. And we'll be back next week. We'll talk to you then. Peace.
I guess go Giants.